Ready to go? Okay. Welcome.
Hello.
Everyone. Snowy day in Watertown. I'm Henry MacLean, AIA, member of the Boston Society of Architects, and 2 years ago, I joined the Boston 9/11 Truth Network, which has been actively supporting AE 9/11 Truth since 2006. Last fall, 36 of us, including several BSA members, welcomed AE 9/11 Truth to our annual ABX trade show, where another 110 architects and engineers signed the AE 9/11 petition. This year, we were fortunate to have Richard Gage, AIA, back for his AIA-approved continuing ed course, The Third Tower, along with follow-up from Dr. Halsey and his work with WTC evaluation yesterday at the BSA space, where another 60 or so building professionals attended. I'm looking very much forward to working with the BSA members, other BSA members in the coming months to help push forward the AE 9/11 Truth resolution for 2017. And last May, I was happy to attend the AIA National Convention, along with AE 9/11 Truth, where Resolution 16.3 garnered over 11% of the vote. And I wanted to read you just a little bit of a piece that I prepared when 3 of us were stranded at the mics, unfortunately, when debate was shut down. So bear with me a little bit. I received my Bachelor of Science in Environmental Design 40 years ago last May. 30 years ago, as chair of the Architects for Social Responsibility at the Boston Society of Architects, we joined forces with the National Committee on the Environment. As with the work of AE 9/11 Truth, this committee supported the process of scientific consensus. We engaged in debate with colleagues at the time who defended climate change denial. We tracked the scientific evidence which showed that our building practices were contributing to climate change. Now, 30 years later, we are heartened to see programs like LEED and the Living Building Challenge become industry standards, extending the green principles of sustainable sites, water, energy, air, and materials to include standards for equity and beauty as well. All of these principles, sustainable principles, were violated with the destruction of the World Trade Center buildings on 9/11. While climate change denial is now fully debunked by the world's scientists, AE 9/11 Truth has refuted the official NIST report on what happened at the World Trade Center. Like climate change, the events of 9/11 have had profound impacts on world events. As the AIA led the building industry in addressing the inconvenient science of climate change, we are now compelled to act as responsible stewards and examine in detail the equally inconvenient science and data of the World Trade Center skyscraper failures and vote yes on Resolution 16.3. So I'm happy to be here again, and one of my colleagues, Rich McCampbell, is going to take this podium now, and I just want to give you a little background on Rich, who was educated as a chemical engineer at the University of Minnesota and is a Massachusetts registered professional engineer in that field. He has 20 years of experience in environmental engineering and 15 years experience in biotech manufacturing. He lives in Milton, Mass. with his wife, daughter, and son, and with another colleague, Michael Blute, AIA, in Milton. We followed Rich's leadership and were successful in having experts speak out presented to what may have been the first parish in Massachusetts last fall to receive this message of AE 9/11 Truth. And over the last few years, Rich has become one of my best friends, and I'm honored to be with him today. Rich, come on up. Hey, buddy. Get me back there, Rich.
Good afternoon. Initially, I believed all the media government stories told about 9/11, but October 7th, 2001, when the U.S. started bombing the third poorest country in the world, Afghanistan, everyone in my life agreed that this must be done. I told everybody, no, we don't have to do this, we should not do this. And then in one of my biggest disappointments of my life, I turned away from this kind of thinking and began a search for the truth, which led to Griffin's book, The New Pearl Harbor. And then later, in 2006, led me to a 9/11 truth film that was put on by Mr. Chris Gruner and a Mr. Joe Lopezi, the men who started Boston 9/11 Truth and who remain tireless warriors for truth in this age of universal deception. A little history about this Tea Party that you're seeing on the screen. In early September 2006, Mia Farrow came to a meeting at the Boston 9/11 Truth Committee at Chris's house and suggested a tea party. The event originally proposed by Barbara Honegger and the late, great Dr. Robert Bowman. Jason King led the lead on the Tea Party, took the lead on the Tea Party and ran with the idea, started researching the original Tea Party and enlisting help. Mark McCurtich and I signed up with Jason as co-planners. We decided to throw crates of the 9/11 omission report into the Boston Harbor because it didn't even mention the collapse of World Trade Center 7. It was and still is a 571-page lie, a cover-up from start to finish. We received wonderful help from many Boston 9/11 Truth folks, including the famous Wagner brothers, Doug and Ken, who built 30 beautiful crates. And then 10 men in Boston 9/11 Truth stepped forward and funded the Tea Party for 9/11 Truth, which cost $10,000 and took hundreds of hours of preparation. On December 16th, 2006, 233 years after the original Tea Party, we gathered at Faneuil Hall, 200 strong, and heard speeches from true patriots, including the keynote speakers, Barbara Honegger, Dr. Kevin Barrett, and Dr. Robert Bowman. We were smiled on that day in mid-December with a 60-degree Fahrenheit sunny Saturday and a great picture in the Boston Globe the next day with a caption that read, 9/11 Truth Tea Party rejects the findings of the 9/11 Commission. The following year, the same core group decided to hold a 9/11 Truth Scientific Conference at the Cradle of Liberty, Faneuil Hall, on Saturday, December 15th, and then again tossed crates of the 9/11 omission reports into Boston Harbor on Sunday, the 16th, for the 2007 Tea Party for 9/11 Truth. At the scientific conference, it featured Richard Gage, AIA, Dr. Steve Jones, and others. Dr. Jones introduced his latest research demonstrating the presence of nanothermite in the World Trade Center dust. The next day, the 2007 Boston Tea Party for 9/11 Truth faced a nor'easter with initial 2 feet of snow in the early Sunday morning, followed by 30-mile-an-hour winds and rain during our parade. And that is it. And you can see the Tea Party of 2006, a nice day, and a lot of excited people tossing the omission report into the harbor.